Just when we thought Iran war has come to a pause, one of the biggest Iranian refineries, Lavan, was hit by a mysterious airstrike. And this particular attack could be something that will jolt the already shaky Washington Tehran ceasefire. And here's why. Well, first you may ask, why are we calling it a mysterious airstrike? Well, it's because US and Israel both have denied involvement in this very attack. So now the biggest question is, who actually attacked this very Iranian refinery? Well, if certain Iranian claims are to be believed, strike was carried out by a Mirage 2000 fighter jet operated by the United Arab Emirates, a US security partner that has so far tried to balance between its Western allies and powerful neighbor Iran. But if Iranian claim is true, then the Middle East is inching towards a wider regional war, and that too at a time when US-Iran are trying to bring down the tempo. So today in this edition of From the News Desk, we will discuss if Iran's claim turned out to be true, what it means for the current situation, and what happens to the 2-week ceasefire between US and Iran. Now, according to Iran's National Iranian Oil Refining and Distribution Company, the refinery on Lavan Island was hit at around 10 local time, setting off fire that emergency crews rushed to contain it. In fact, this very facility processes roughly 55,000 barrels of oil per day and is a key node for supplying fuel to Iran's southern coastline and shipping lanes in the Persian Gulf. Tehran's initial messaging spoke broadly of an attack by unnamed enemy before various Iranian outlets and officials began framing the strike as a violation of the newly announced ceasefire with United States and Israel. And the ambiguity over who fired the first shot has quickly become as consequential as the damage itself, because it will determine whether the truce collapses or somehow survives. Now, Iranian state media subsequently claimed that the strike was carried out by a Mirage fighter jet used by the UAE, pointing to the fact that Abu Dhabi is the only operator of this particular variant of the Mirage 2000 in the region. Now, after Iranian media's claim, open source and conflict monitoring channels echoed those very assertions, citing unnamed Iranian military sources who alleged that UAE-operated Mirage 2000 were the platform used in this very raid. Remember, this particular variant of Mirage 2000 with sophisticated targeting pods and standoff strike weapons is technically well suited for a precision attack on a fixed site like Lavan from UAE airspace. Also, this piece of Iranian territory lies comfortably within its operational radius. However, till date, there is no independently verified evidence such as radar tracks, satellite imagery, or official statements that conclusively tie UAE aircraft to the strike, and the claims remains uncorroborated beyond Iranian and pro-Iranian information channels. Now, US officials have briefed media that the strike on Lavan was not carried out by the American forces, and that Washington had notified Tehran that neither the United States nor Israel was responsible. Subsequently, Israeli military spokesperson have also gone on record denying any such involvement, insisting that Israel has adhered to the ceasefire terms in relation to Iranian territory. Now, that leaves the UAE at the center of speculation. But till now, Abu Dhabi has stayed publicly quiet on the Lavan allegations, even as its defense ministry has spoken about intercepting incoming Iranian missiles and drones in subsequent exchanges. Now, the absence of a clear authoritative account of what actually happened over Lavan Island is fueling conspiracy theories and sharpening regional mistrust at precisely the moment diplomacy is supposed to be de-escalating the crisis. Now, within hours of the Lavan strikes, Iran launched a wave of missile and drone attacks against targets in the UAE and Kuwait, explicitly framing the barrage as retaliation for the refinery attack and a response to what it called a ceasefire violation. In fact, Kuwait's armed forces reported intercepting dozens of Iranian drones aimed at oil, power and desalination facilities, while the UAE said its air defenses engaged ballistic and cruise missiles alongside unmanned aircraft with debris causing fire at certain installations. Now, these retaliatory strikes underscores how quickly the confrontation has spilled beyond the original US-Iran-Israel triangle into a broader Gulf security crisis, pulling smaller states directly into the line of fire. Well, each unanswered question about who struck Lavan risks justifying a new round of attacks in the name of deterrence or revenge, eroding the thin political support that still exists for the ceasefire. Now here comes the most important part. If hard evidence eventually confirms that UAE-operated Mirage 2000 jets did attack Lavan, it would mark a dramatic escalation, a Gulf Arab US ally directly striking Iranian territory in the middle of an American-brokered truce. Such a precedent could normalize cross-Gulf attacks between Iran and Arab monarchies, turning what has largely been a US-Israel versus Iran shadow war into a multi-front regional conflict. But for now, the Lavan incident sits in a dangerous grey zone, serious enough to trigger Iranian retaliation and inflame public opinion, but not yet conclusively attributed to a way that would force Washington, Abu Dhabi, or any other capitals to openly choose sides. As long as the question of who hit Lavan and on whose authority remains unanswered, the ceasefire will rest on increasingly bitter foundations, and the risk that the Gulf slips from proxy confrontation into open state-on-state war will only grow.